Okay, you have to put Mount Everest on the highlight list. As mountains in the Himalayas go, it's not the most spectacular, but it's the most famous, so there you go. My most memorable moment here was sneaking into the climbers' camps to see what goes on behind the scenes. Apparently, just a lot of yakking.
It is my job. So my boss, you have to go from north side Everest expedition, then I have to come here because it is up to my boss. If he sent here, I have to come here. If he will send in Nepal, other mountains, I have to go there. So up to my boss.
Fortunately, I met this travel writer who gave me his perspective on the Everest mystique.
You know, what can you say? It's the biggest on Earth, and it's massive, and it's why people have been obsessed with it for decades or centuries. But what you don't see is what most of the Tibetan Plateau is, which is basically Arizona at 15,000 feet, or the Sahara Desert at 15,000 feet, or the Sinai Peninsula. They call it a high desert, and that's what it is. And you have rock formations. You can see rock formations and rock cliffs and Everest at the same time. It's like Everest to Arizona, and you just move about 20 degrees, I guess, in your field of vision. That would be my biggest first impression, and the thing that I think would be a surprise, perhaps, for people coming here expecting something a little different.
One of the most fascinating events was the Buddhist monks' debate at a monastery near Lhasa. You probably won't understand what they say, but they're a lot more interesting to watch than Crossfire. There were many more memorable people, like the old woman praying as she crawled the 32 miles around Mount Kailash, and the 77-year-old man who's walked around it more than 100 times. And I can't forget the beautiful but endangered wildlife, the golden duck, the black-necked crane, and the incredible herds of wild donkeys who run free because they, like Tibet's other wildlife, are protected. Finally, the stunning ancient city of Tsaparang in far western Tibet. It dates back to the 15th century and was chiseled out of the massive sandstone cliffs left by a prehistoric ocean. Seeing it helped me understand the depth of Tibetans' relationship with their unique environment. So I was even more disturbed by the urban sprawl, the human pollution, and trash encroaching upon Tibet's landscape. It's clear the ruling Chinese government must take measures to prevent Tibet from becoming an ecological disaster like China.
Tibet is undergoing the biggest change in its more than 2,000-year history. Now, some people would prefer that time be left the judge of whether all this change is for the better. But being here, experiencing the people, the land, and the legends that make Tibet so special, I believe that its future cannot be left to time itself. We know that human development can ironically destroy the ways of life we work so hard to improve. The people of Tibet and China need to be careful what they wish for, because the things they are risking belong not just to them, but to the entire world. I'm Ken Schreiner in Lhasa, Tibet. Thanks for joining me on this internet adventure, and see you next time on The Landscape.